So what am I taking? What's my peptide stack? What's my steroid stack? Let's get into it, because for the past 4.5 months I was on 250 test, 300 EQ, and then 3 months, so that was 4.5 months. Then 3 months ago I did 90 trend to 120 trend a week. So, and I'm still doing that with the trend. I just pulled the EQ, but really that's all I was running. And one thing I realized after running a really long, big summer stack, I really didn't take any orals. Maybe I did like 5 workouts with like injectable super draw or antidraw like combined, like just 5 workouts. So I just didn't feel the need for it. If I have all these calories and I'm working out at a surplus, I didn't see the point for taking any orals. Now what I'm transitioning to is just keeping a peptide dominant stack with just 250 tests, 90 to 120 trend for another month, and then figure out, like, do bloods again. My HDL has been tricky. Like, it was at 19, then it went to 27 with all the holistics I was taking. Now it's back down to 20, so that's bothering me. With the 8 EQ out of my system and the trend at a bare minimum, keeping my holistics in, if I can keep that like 25 or 27, 28, I can run the trend a little longer because I'm running it so low. But this is why when people plan out their stacks, their steroid stacks, like from start to finish, it's just such a fucking L. Because you have to like you have to account for variables, and you have to like think on the fly, and you have to also see how you look and how you feel. So that's what I'm doing with my steroids. Now my peptide stacks, the only thing I do is South Beach. And I like South Beach. It's more bang for your buck. It's a good company. The compounds are clean. You know, the COAs are fine, but it's just like any other verified company through China that has got good COAs. It's just my brand, and if you fuck with my brand, you want to buy my brand. But with South Beach, I only take things I can't get because I haven't bought, my volume for 1776, because that's where the true quality is, the precision. I've said this many times. China peptides, they're accurate. You aim for the bullseye, you hit the bullseye, and then you're gonna hit around the bullseye. Maybe you hit one off the charts or something like that. But for the most part, it's accurate, and you're gonna get some clean stuff. But my 1776 is just straight precision, and like, boom, bullseye, 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 and you really feel it with the NAD and the glutathione off the rip. And there's no scar tissue with the glutathione, which, speaking of that, I do that 5 to 6 to 7 times a week, pending, if I'm just like, sometimes I'm hungover and too lazy to pen or something like that, but it's a really clean, good, effective enzyme. It's not even a peptide, that's antioxidant rich, and it just feels great after you're done injecting it. And you get no scar tissue with the 1776 stuff. Anything from China, I've gotten scar tissue, like leather buildup from the glutathione. It fucking sucks. Welts that are huge that don't go away for like 8 to 12 hours. Insane. NAD is supposed to give you a kick in the ass. You inject it, it's supposed to get your heart rate going. You can get a little flush. And with the China stuff, I have to like OD on it to get that feeling. With the 1776 stuff, I just take like, no exaggerations, like 2/3 of the China amount, and it kicks me in the ass more often than not. It's really nice, but I like that feeling. It wakes me up. So those are where you're really gonna feel the quality. I'm also doing right now an SS31 run for 2.5 milligrams, which is where you're really supposed to be running it daily for 30 days. And then I'm gonna go back to Mod C 1 milligram 5 days a week, or I can do 2 milligrams 3 days a week, something like that. And you run them, 1 month on the SS, you do like 6 weeks with mods, and then you go 1 month with SS, and then back to mods. So you're eradicating bad mitochondria, putting in the good mitochondria, leaving out the bad cells, duplicating the good ones. That's the whole point of this. I do feel a lot sharper when I'm on my peptides too. I've always noticed if I skip like 2 days, because I've kind of just like fucked around to see like how will I feel with none of this or none of that, and I just feel better on my peptide stacks. I'm also taking CLO, 1776 CLO, KPV, GHK, TB4, and BPC. What else is in my fridge right now? I know I'm missing at least 1 or 2. If I have to go check, Serostim HGH, the King peptide, I'm running that 2 IUs a day. The past 70 days I've been on Serostim. I will never do HGH if it's not Serostim. Or something of like kind, like Genotropin or something like that. Like something that's really, really like acclaimed through the pharmacy. Like, this is night and day difference. I feel great, I sleep great. And then what is another peptide that I am running? I'm forgetting one. But regardless, guys, SS31, NAD, glutathione, retatrutide. How could I fucking forget that one? I'm back on retatrutide. I took like a month break, and I'm already back at 10 milligrams. This is week 2. Last week was 6, this is 10. Like, I just have a high threshold for Reta. I can eat on it, and then at a certain point when I'm eating, it could be whatever, I'm just like, okay, I'm full. But then I get hungry again like 5-6 hours later. So what I'm dealing with right now with the Reta, a lot of people, and I forgot to do this, is I don't have any fruit in the house, but I got like hypo today, because I ate at like my first meal at 4 o'clock. So what you're supposed to do when you first start Reta is hydrate and have fruit. That's my rule. I made that up. You can sue me if you made it up. I did. I tell my clients to do it, and they do a lot better. They do really well with having their blood sugar spiked and being able to continue throughout the day without having like so many calories. And then you're cutting the fat, you're losing your glycogen, and then at the end of the day you have a nice protein rich meal with maybe some complex carbohydrates. That sounds pretty good. But throughout the day, water and fruit. and maybe 2 cans of tuna with some olive oil and salt if you're really trying to get after it. That's sufficient. I will say it over and over again, food is overrated. Like I've only been doing this for 10 days. I'm dramatically like looking way sicker, and I'm only eating 1 to 2 meals a day again. I operate my best when I'm cutting. I already just feel like more confident. I just like it a lot. And that is my stack. I'm doing methylene blue. Forgot to mention that. Once in a while, I'll crank some Salon if I can't go to sleep. Nasal from South Beach. We don't run nasals at 1776 just yet. And then what I am going to add to my stack, it's just expensive, even for me, the owner, is the Fuck Cancer blend, which is a TA1 or T1A, the TA1 complex. And that is just, I've posted on my Instagram, it's got so many rich antioxidants in this in this shot. And if you're sick, you just do 1 shot, you're gonna feel better 8 hours later. I'm not gonna say it's gonna cure you, but you're gonna feel better. And then if you're doing well, you can do 1/4 to 1/3 of the vial. So you burn through this shit really quickly. So it's a rich man's peptide, as is SS31. And then MOTS-C is a little bit more affordable. But these are peptides. When people get like testosterone, MOTS-C, the TA1, SS31, these are peptides that have to be ran like at a high compilation for really good effects. And when you're going through China and you're doing this stuff, you can get good effects, but it's night and day difference. I'm just going to swing over to 1776 again, and that's why I'm just like so bullish on this company. I'm like, I know once everybody's on board, it's going to be like this really, really big thing. But again, we're crushing it. We're almost at 240K since now we've launched the website of profits. Most of that, almost all of it was done without the website. When I get my Instagram back, we will do like a big sale, 35% off or something. And that's my stack.